Hello, beloved friends. I'm Reverend Kyra at Unity Bay Area, Houston, and we are continuing the fourth in our series on the Unity Way or the Christ Way. And this week we'll be talking about radical living. We've gone from radical love to radical kingdom to radical knowing. And now we're going to talk about how do we actually live and what was the demonstration given to us by our way shower, elder brother, and magnificent teacher, Christ Jesus, or Jesus Christ, however you want to say it, because he was demonstrating with his living how it is we're meant to be, how it is we're meant to live in this life. And it's not one to just sit back. He was radical in the way that he lived and brought forth truth principles in all that he did, in everything that he shared, his precepts and his parables, in the miracles that he performed, and also in the actions and the examples that he gave with his life. And so we get to question, what is mine to do in bringing forth the radical way of being that is transformative by who I am on the inside, as well as who I express myself as on the outside. When we begin to understand these basic unity principles and apply them in our lives, and these teachings which were prevalent in Jesus, then we begin to live in a different way. And we're going to be invited this way to take a look at that. What is it to have the radical kind of living that transforms circumstances, situations, perceptions, even people in the midst of our lives because of how we show up, because of the way that we live our lives? And so we are always getting that invitation to go deeper, to go into a more expanded consciousness. And what is that? And how do we live it in a way in this time? You know, Jesus was also in a time of much change and challenge in the world around him. And those that thought he was going to be a leader of the world, and yet he knew he was a leader of something much greater, that he was bringing forth in his radical way of being a greater kind of realization that would transform the world, for people to see themselves in a new way, for them to find truth in the midst of all of the chaos around them. And we're being called to help ourselves and others find truth in the midst of chaos. I'm not talking about political truth here. I'm talking about the truth of being a presence for that which is something much greater, the expanded self, the I am consciousness. What Jesus would call the Father and I are one, in the oneness consciousness. For us, we might call it, the divine awareness. There's so many ways we can label this, but there is that which, when we're living from it, truly shows up in the world in ways that sometimes invite others to deep think, invites others to not just be status quo in the way that they've operated, to go above and beyond what they've known and transcend something greater with that I am consciousness, with that awareness of the divine self. And we get to demonstrate that in our own lives and bring forth a new world for all of us. And I'm going to invite us into that in more depth this Sunday. I look forward to sharing these messages with you and us to continue to explore this unity way or Christ way as we understand what is it we're being called to be and how are we called to live in our everyday lives. I just love and bless each one of you, and I trust you're creating a life that serves the greatest good for all. That's who we're called to be. So please join us at Unity Bay Area, Houston, 1911 Highway 3 South in League City, Texas. That's at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday, or certainly join us online. We're on our live stream with our Facebook channel, Unity Bay Area, Houston, or our YouTube channel every week. We'd love to have you come and explore and start to live these depths within yourself. What we know is ultimately that will create the heights of a new realization in our world, in our way of being, in our joy, in our inner fulfillment. And we wish that for each and every one of us, to have a world where peace and harmony prevail, have a world where we feel fulfilled in giving our gifts and making contributions with our talents and our presence. And so we know that's the way, the unity way, and it's the Christ way. Let's join together and share that message this Sunday. Look forward to seeing you then. Bless you, friends.